In this video, I'm going to share with you how we did $31,000 in one day and over $700,000 in 3 weeks. And the one mistake that cost us $20,000. What I'm going to cover is going to blow your mind and change your belief of what jewelry must be in order to sell online. This piece alone has created a movement, a gigantic shift in the way merchants are now creating jewelry. Make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Now before we get into what this piece is, I'm going to teach you the fundamentals. It's actually sold 3,700 units now. The fundamentals are: 1, the mistake all noobs make. How do you say that? Noobs? Noobs? Newbies? Bloody hell. 2, the fundamentals of what sells print-on-demand jewelry. 3, what makes it bad, a good, a great, and a viral jewelry design that creates a movement. And the supply you must have for your print-on-demand jewelry. At their core, points 2, 3, and 4 share very similar traits. The design is ultimately very simple. The font is legible with very limited use of design embellishments. What we are aiming to do is stop someone mid-scroll, have them understand exactly what we're offering, connecting with them emotionally, and ultimately having them purchase something they didn't realize they needed 5 minutes earlier. In order to do this, it must be easily read. And this is point number 1. Time and again, the mistake I see newcomers make is that they make these designs far too fancy. My bad. Any level of fancy. If there's fancy in the design, you've lost a potential customer. Don't be one of these people. By fancy, I mean what you overwhelmingly see in the graphic design groups on Facebook. You have to remember, whilst the designs on the surface look fantastic, the people designing these pieces are designers, and it's their job to make this stuff look good. I'm telling you, 99% of the designers have never sold a piece of jewelry. If they had, they wouldn't be selling you designs at $10 a pop. Trust me on this. Shortly, I'm going to show the pieces that sell very well, and you'll be amazed at their simplicity, and in some cases, ugliness, which is another term that is often bandied about by the POD gurus. Ugly sells. And this brings us to the fundamentals of what sells print-on-demand jewelry. The reason why it's important to remove the design embellishments is because firstly, it's distracting to the potential customer. Every bit of added color, every bit of fancy font and prettiness is taking away from the most important aspects of what is actually going to sell that piece. The eye must be drawn to the moneymaker, which is a part of the phrase that sells the jewelry. Let me explain. There are 5 key components that make saleable designs: the adjective, the recipient, the moneymaker, the blend, and the sign-off. The adjective, as it would suggest, after introducing with to my, it is the term of endearment that is given to that recipient. It could be anything from terms given to a significant other like gorgeous, stunning, future, damn fine, dearest, or the one I love most, smoking hot, to terms often given to offspring, favorite, talented, gorgeous, young, and so on and so forth. The recipient is where we can have a little bit of fun. We often mix it up with different recipient names to make it more niche related. For horse riders, you can use riding partner. For hunters, hunting partner, or we've made it even more niche by using terms like doe, to my smoking hot doe. For hiking, hiking partner. Chances are, if you call your partner a nickname, then there'll be others in the world that call their partners the same. I'm thinking something along the lines of babe, baby, bub. I call my wife Bub. So it's something that you could use as well. Now the moneymaker is what really captures the attention. An example of what has worked extremely well for us: my dreams came true the day I met you. When I first saw you, you took my breath away, and you still do every single day. Another example could be, you're my love, my friend, my sweetheart too, my life, my all, my dream come true. I'm so glad I fell in love with you. Or, you are my happily ever after, my soulmate, my best friend, my dream come true, my one and only, my everything, my anchor, my life, my love, forever and always, and nothing and nobody, not even time will ever change that. That, however, is getting a little bit too long-winded and going to be very, very difficult to fit on a print card, let alone a pendant. If it's from a daughter or a son with a humor angle, and humor is where I love creating pieces, I just wanted to say congratulations. I turned out awesome. Or if you want to be more sentimental, no one will ever know the strength of my love for you. After all, I am the only one that's heard your heart from the inside. What I'm demonstrating here is that the moneymaker is what emotionally connects your customer to the customer's recipient. It speaks to not only the heart of the recipient, but to that of the person that is actually giving the piece of jewelry. Jewelry, after all, is predominantly a gift. Guess what? In your product research for print-on-demand products, you're going to see so many moneymakers now. They're going to be everywhere. In order to create your own, to vary it up, and to make something unique, you will need to add something to it, what I call the blend. The blend is a part of the phrase that wraps up the moneymaker and it really sells the design. So to follow on from the first moneymaker I shared, my dreams came true the day I met you. When I first saw you, you took my breath away and you still do every single day. Now, the blend is what we add to the end of this. And it's going to be like this. You are my life, my love, my best friend. My love for you will never end. By blending together, you have something nobody has ever seen before. And it sounds like this. My dreams came true the day I met you. When I first saw you, you took my breath away and you still do every single day. You are my life, my love, my best friend. My love for you will never end. Another example is, you're my love, my friend, my sweetheart too, my life, my all, my dream come true. I'm so glad I fell in love with you. Which was that original moneymaker? No matter where we go, no matter what we do, you will always have me and I will always have you. The whole idea is to bring two quality phrases together like this. We are creating something exceptionally meaningful. Now the sign off is exactly how you'd sign off a card that you were giving to someone. You don't always need it, but sometimes adds that nice little exclamation point at the end. Usually with an I love you, love your insert gifter's name or relationship, i.e. husband, son, daughter, etc. Love your one and only. Just a quick note on the sign off. If you remove the specificity, you open up a much larger pool of who could be gifting the piece of jewelry. Instead of saying, love your son, if you were to sign off with love me or love your favorite or I love you, it could be from a son, a daughter, and if you're targeting partners, removing the specific gifter's term allows it to be from a fiance, boyfriend or husband or girlfriend, wife, etc. This is an important note to make. Whilst I'm a big believer in niching down, because that's where I've enjoyed the most success, and if you've not seen my other videos about that, I'll link to it in my card. Is that what they call it on YouTube? I'm so new to this. So whilst I advocate niching down, I still want a massive audience to scale into in round one of scaling. Once I start scaling and want to scale a phrase out, adding that specificity to it allows me to target a new subsection of that same audience. And that is exactly how we scale. In future videos, I'll show you how to take one design and spin it out into other niches to explode your results and ensure all those pain in the ass copycats aren't taking your money, because they will. The piece I'm going to share with you that sold 3,200 units in 3 weeks before Christmas, it was spun out into 3 or 4 different designs. Same exact phrase, similar sort of design, and it sold an extra 823 units. This is a massively important step as you start to scale. As soon as you have a piece that you start to scale and it's selling about 50 units a day, make sure you're getting those variations done. You want to put them on your store and you want to make sure you're running ads to them as well. On top of the 3,200 units of the main piece, I added an extra 823 units, or $53,127. I'm not sure about you, but I'd rather that money in my pocket and not the copycats. And guess what? You're not going to get tips like that from anywhere else on YouTube. If you want more golden nuggets, make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell. It will encourage me. Please encourage me. I love it. Now let's take a look at some of the designs and the numbers they've done for us. You're going to see the niches that I'm active in by seeing these, and you're inevitably going to ask, but Ronnie, if they're selling so well for you, why are you showing us? I know this because it's a question I get asked all the time on TikTok. The honest truth, so much of our success in print on demand comes down to consistent testing, consistent launching, consistency. So the likelihood of someone actually taking our designs or your designs and doing the same sort of numbers that you've done, it's highly unlikely. And I always like to think success comes to those who deserve it. So just copying and not learning the fundamentals of how to create these pieces are not going to do anything long-term for these people. Stealing a design that's sold for somebody else does not mean it's going to have the same results for you. You can try it if that's your game. So that's what gives me confidence in showing you these pieces. What I want to do is show you how to create 6 and 7 figure winners by showing you what an actual winner looks like. By understanding what makes up a great design, you'll be able to apply the same method to any print-on-demand product that you can design. Now, this first piece is the gift that keeps on giving. Life is one sweet ride, biker necklace. This piece shows you the importance of understanding the elements within a niche. The heart in the middle is a zoomed-in V-twin. If you know anything about Harley Davidsons, that's the engine that gives these bikes the thunder that all bikies love. Now the phrase, life is one sweet ride with you by my side, something Sahal came up with, obviously speaks volumes about the people who purchase it. The gifter is obviously a mad keen biker. The recipient, colloquially known within the bike circles as the old lady or the old lady. Most often they live and breathe the same life, so you can see the connection. You'll notice here that we've not used any color, no unnecessary design embellishments, and the font is what? It's easily read. Nice work, you're learning. Good on you. So the numbers. We've actually sold this piece on several stores, on the platform too, I believe, and it's sold around 5,400 units, or just under, I think. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It really is the gift that keeps giving. It's done over $260,000 to date. For whatever reason, it won't let us scale, but it continues to sell a handful a week. And after launching more than 2 years ago, I'm happy for it to just sit there and bring in those extra few sales each week. Now, number 2, writing partners for life. This is a piece that shows that a common moneymaker phrase can be mixed with niche elements to create something unique. To my writing partner for life, my dreams came true the day I met you. When I first saw you, you took my breath away, and you still do every single day. The moneymaker is not specifically for motorcycles, but because we used writing partner, it straight up called out the bikers we were targeting. Also, this one was advertised directly from a Facebook page that we're hyperactive on. We are always posting content, making sure it's super niche relevant, so there's a bit of brand equity there as well. So the correlation was there immediately. The significant design elements in this piece, all bikers love black. And the orange, well, the HD logo actually has orange in it as well. So that's why I use that color. The wings are also something that you'll often see within the biker circles. If you look up biker designs, there's always wings. The numbers on this one did 2,092 units in the 3 weeks to Christmas. That's $127,639. Now the key elements between these two designs is that the designs are high contrast. The font is easily read, and the specific attributes of each speak to the niche heart of the gifter as much of the recipient. In order for these pieces to stand out in the crowded newsfeed, we must not overwhelm with over-designing our jewelry cards. Doing so makes it blend into the rest of the newsfeed, and you won't be able to tell it from anything else. If you do want to see a full breakdown of that 3-week period that we had before Christmas, I did a full case study on the StoreHacks website. You can check it out at storehacks.com/scale. You can see how much ad spend there was. You can see how we came up with the design ideas, everything. I'll put it in there. It took forever to write. So if you want to check it out, head over there. But before you head off to see how rich I am, I have a little something extra that I want to share with you. When I started this video, I said I was going to share with you the elements of a viral design. Now, why this particular piece worked so well was because we zigged when everybody else was zagging. If I was to ask you what type of greeting cards are most commonly given with jewelry, would you agree if I said it was heartfelt? That's what everyone thinks, and rightly so. And because of that, everyone that's new into this industry or even been in here for quite a while, they're always designing heartfelt messages. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It works very well. It's allowed us to sell millions of dollars worth of jewelry and others. So definitely keep trying it. But if you want to stand out, you got to mix it up a bit. So in order to stand out, we did something that hadn't been seen before. We added humor. So in the lead up to Christmas, we had completely lost all our ad accounts. I was off it. I didn't want to design or sell anything with jewelry on it. It was just doing my head in. It was just before the elections. Just after the election had finished, about a week later, we got our ad accounts back. So how I started launching pieces in about 3 weeks, he was up to about 50 to 100 units a day on about a dozen different pieces. But no matter what he did, what we did, we couldn't push past the 100 unit a day mark. So we had to sort of think about what we could do. And that's where I had a bit of an epiphany. Probably while I was out on a run, or it could have been whilst I was annoying my wife. Not quite sure. It's funny when these things come to your mind. I immediately sent a message to Sahal, and Sahal did what Sahal does, and he came back with the phrase not long after. Chasing hunting, and hunting, as you know, lends itself some decent innuendo. Now, the only concern was that we had a good chance of being shut down by Facebook. They don't take much to flag your account. They certainly don't take much to completely shitlist you on there. So with the innuendo that was in this piece, we knew we did stand a good shot of being shut down. But anyway, it's happened so many times now that we decided just to throw caution to the wind and do it anyway. So I knew what design elements I needed. Mating deer, check. Love hearts, check. I need to make it look like they were in love after all. And the hunter's orange that I used on it was actually what the guys wear when they're out in the field when they're hunting. So it's important to use the different niche elements within your designs as well. And this was the final result. To my smoking hot dough, I chased a lot of tail and I've spotted some fine racks in my time, but yours are the best by far. I love you. So why does it work so well? Because through humor, we were able to create an experience for not just the person that was gifting this piece, but for the person that was receiving it. Straight up, this little box would have been wrapped up all nice and neat under the Christmas tree. She would have been thinking that she was getting jewelry. She was getting jewelry. And he was trying not to laugh every time he was envisioning her unwrapping it and having a read of what that card actually said. So roll around to Christmas morning, fresh coffee brewing, Christmas carols playing, the fire crackling away, the smell of the pine cones, all the smells of Christmas mingling together, and they sit down to open up these gifts, or this gift in particular. He picks up the jewelry box. He could see the look in her eye. She knew it was going to be jewelry. And after all those years of asking for a necklace or a ring, he's finally decided to give her something. My wife, if you've not picked up the clue, has been hinting to me to get her some jewelry too. So I imagine this guy was going down this same path. Anyway, she opened it up, looked inside, saw the little LED light illuminate the message, and she began to read. To my smoking hot dough. That's weird. Mating deer? What? So for those that actually stayed together after she read this, there was an experience that followed. I imagine they both had a good laugh and they remembered the reason why they actually loved being together. They met when he was teasing her and they're still together because they've got that playful relationship. That was how I imagined this playing down. I'm always empathizing with how the recipient or how the person buying the product that we're selling is going to feel. So that's how I imagined it went down. I had a bit of artistic license there to make it a little bit more entertaining for you. But for the most part, what we find with jewelry, particularly these print cards, is that when we give these as gifts, what is the gift card that we normally give people? Is it humor-based, like if it's our partner, or is it more, what would you say, heartfelt? That's where this came into its own. So instead of just giving a heartfelt gift card that would sit in the bedside drawer, I know I only check mine probably once every 5 years if you're cleaning up and whatnot, but it's a good example of how you zig when everybody's zagging. So there are plenty of other niches that you're able to do this in. I do have a 1,000 plus niche list ebook that you can get from the link in my description below, and that'll help you unlock other niches as well. So now, I promised you that I'd tell you how we lost $20,000. So it wasn't so much losing it as unrealized revenue. So when we first listed this, we sold it at the suggested retail price, which was $49.99. shineon puts that price on everything in their back end, and it's suggested for a reason. So after 2 weeks of scaling, I thought, bugger it, I'm going to bump that budget. So I put it up to $69.99, and it did nothing to the conversions. Did not hurt them. In fact, it increased slightly. So people expect better quality. And that's the one thing with shineon that we've got to. This is one company that does not take their responsibility lightly in terms of working with merchants. So why quality is so important is because when we're on Etsy, we've got the reviews in place. So if we get bad reviews, we're not going to be getting shown in the results. And the same with Facebook. So after someone's purchased from us, typically they will get surveyed on the customer feedback on Facebook. If we fall below a certain point, then they'll restrict our advertising. You can sign up to shineon. Go to storehacks.com/shineon. The good thing is, if you're just beginning, you can sell straight from their platform. But if you've been around for a bit, you can sell from your Shopify store as well. So I wish you the best of luck. Make sure you stick around, check out my other videos. I'm going to be dropping so much content over the next few weeks and months, and I'd love for you to comment or question below what you'd love to see in the next video. So I'll see you in the next one.